Pisces, this is your March 2023. My name is G, and we're going to talk about March for you. We've got a lot to go over. Let's get into it. And we're starting off with the beginning of March 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. We have two events occurring. Right. This month of March is big because with every full moon and new moon, there's also something else happening. I know it's like loaded, right? So we have a completion and an ending and a closure at the beginning of March, right? So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you'll feel the release. It's time. It's an ending, right? It's in the sign that is opposite of you. So it's in Virgo energy, right? Full moon in Virgo is an ending and a closure, so there can be emotions involved. And the degrees of the full moon is going to be 17 degrees. It's 16 degrees, 50 minutes or something like that, 1640. So we'll say a 17-degree completion, 17-degree full moon. Now, in Virgo energy, Virgo's routines, right? Virgo is job and work. It can be pets, okay? Virgo is like writing lists and organizing. It can be cleanliness. It can be like I'm hearing, perfection, because the opposite of Virgo is you, Pisces, which is extremely idealistic. So it's constantly seeking perfection, right? So for you, if you're having a full moon in Virgo, you know that Virgo energy, I'm looking at your list right here, is in your 7th house. This is your partnerships. Now, this can be people you work with. This can be someone you're married to. It is somebody that you are willing to compromise for. Okay. So somebody compromising, it's like, I know I got to show up. I know that, there's got to be give and take with this person. They're that important to me. Right. So it can be professional. It can absolutely be personal. Right. Virgo energy is routines. It's domestic. So it's usually in the home. So if you've got Pisces in the 7th house, it screams louder to domestic, right? To, okay, can we compromise in the house? Virgo likes to organize and structure, right? Virgo's like, but we've got this schedule. Look at the calendar. This is when we do this, right? But not everybody, it's not that they can't do the calendar thing, but for a lot of folks in the world, think about this. When you go to your job, there's structure and there's order, right? So for a lot of folks, when they go home, that is their time to not have to deal with structure and order. They feel free, right? So this can be difficult for a Virgo 7th house if you're trying to have that structure and the order, right? And if your spouse isn't about that, right? Or your mate or your partner it could be anybody you're willing to compromise for. It's Virgo in the 7th house. Okay. Pets can be here, right? So routines with pets. This can be your health, but this is 7th house. So it's your partner's health, your partner's routines, right? Your partner's pets, right? Do you have pet peeves? Does your partner have a pet peeve? Like that word's coming through. But there's routines. I keep seeing literally the word routine written is being changed or it's ending, right? Because it's a full moon, it's ending. So it could be a health routine. Could be something as simple as that. And this isn't such a big deal, right? Especially if you don't have anything near those degrees. Okay. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees of Virgo. Now, if you have something at those degrees, this can be disruptive. Okay. Because I did some extra homework just because March is a big month. And it talks about emotions, things that are hidden. Virgo likes to be the troubleshooter of the zodiac, right? And so it likes to connect the dots. It likes to figure things out, right? Healthcare, nursing, servicing. If we think about Virgo energy and how does Virgo serve in the home, there are so many things in the home. It's like a business, right? We got to keep inventory, a Virgo thing, keeping track of stuff and writing a list. There's ordering, right? We've going shopping, right? We've got to make sure there's food. We've got to make sure there's supplies. There's cleaning supplies. There's laundry detergent. Who the hell does the laundry? Who does the cleaning? Whose turn is it to take care of the bathroom this week, right? Like there's a whole slew of things to keep a household functioning, right? And so when Virgo can be really zoned in on that. Like, okay, it's got to be like this. So it can be feel like a monkey wrench. And so there can be, at this degree, there can be emotions that flare up, other than the fact that it's a full moon. That also would scream emotions flaring up. But this degree, for some reason, it says volcanic eruptions at this degree. So I just wanted to put that out there. Again, only a thing if you've got something at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees of Virgo. And it's just a full moon. So you just prepare for it a few days before the 7th. Yeah. Now, the other thing that is a thing is Saturn. Saturn's changing signs on this day. So Saturn leaves Aquarian energy and it goes into your sign. Saturn goes into your sign, Pisces. Yeah. Now, is this a bad thing? No, absolutely not. I think Pisces, I've heard a lot of people with Pisces, strong Pisces energy, tell me that it actually helps when they have Saturn there. Because with Pisces, they feel like literally a fish in the water, which isn't a bad thing, but it is if you can't stay focused. It is if you can easily get thrown off track, right? Because it just goes where the flow is. It just goes whichever the way the wind blows, right? It's so sensitive that it can get knocked off course of its goals because Saturn is its goals, right? So with Saturn going into Pisces, there can be some help with that, right? It can be, these were my goals and they're very structured and they're very hard, Saturn, material, tangible, long-term goals, career, job, Saturn, right? Responsibilities, duties, Saturn, okay? But when it goes into Pisces, it can feel like all of a sudden there's a new set of rules. There's some structure. There's some organizing because we want the long-term success. Remember, Saturn is our friend, right? The person who makes the rules isn't always the enemy, right? And that's kind of, Saturn gets a bad rap. It's just what it is. It gets a bad rap. Nobody likes the person who's in charge, right? That's the authority figure, Saturn, right? So if it goes into Pisces, this means it goes into your first house. So your first house is your physical body. Remember, Pisces is the feet. So if you have feet that are sensitive, which you absolutely could, Saturn can bring some restrictions. Now, if you have nothing at the degrees of 0, don't be concerned, but look in your chart and see where Pisces is in your first house. Do you have any planets that are there? If you don't know what I'm talking about and you want to know, just comment to me. I will help you figure that out. I will help you as best that I can. Okay. Saturn can bring restrictions. Okay. Saturn, it might be well aspected in your chart where it can bring benefits. Everybody's going to be different with this, but Saturn definitely is rules, structure, and order and responsibility. Okay. And so that's a new beginning and it stays in the sign of Pisces for 2.5 years. Now we move on to the next thing and it's a new moon in Aries energy. Fiery new moon, and it's big deal because it's at the 0 degrees point, which is a world axis point. So it'll be on the world stage. If it's Aries, we know Mars rules Aries, and Mars was born for war. So when I think world, this to me is NATO. It makes sense, right? It's NATO, but when we go on a smaller scale, because you might have something at 0 in your chart, you might have something at 29 Pisces. You could have something at 28 Pisces. You could have something at 1 degrees of Aries and 2 degrees Aries. So that's the orb for this new moon, this new beginning in Aries energy. My independent body, my freedoms, the actions of my body consciousness, right? Freedom to do what I want with my body. And yes, that means my body may have another body inside of it. But first and foremost, it is still my body, right? And what goes on in my body is my creation. I control what goes on with my creation. Okay. Now I know this isn't meant to get political or religious or to start stuff with people. This is using astrology. This is astrology, folks. Okay. I know it can ruffle some feathers. That's not the intent. So independence of the body and body consciousness, right? And Aries can be our ego, right? It gets really full of itself, right? But at the end of the day, we're each responsible for ourselves, but it's the ego that can be an issue here, right? It can be an issue. So having this new beginning, we may find that we are trying to develop a higher sense of who we are and trying to grow up our Aryan ways. Yes, grow up our Aryan ways. There's a keyword here, and it's power of clear visuals and ideals. Okay, power of clearly visualized ideals. That is the the wording for this. That's the keynote for this degree. Okay. And so it's independent actions, freedoms of the body, world axis point, a new beginning in Aries. So for you, Pisces, you've got this in your second house. Now, I like this for you because this is your money and your income. It's second house of values. I value my body, Aries energy, right? So it starts something. I want to be first at doing this. That's Aries. First, that has this value, the first person to make an income doing this. Anything goes nowadays, right? So you tell me, this is a very powerful degree. Very powerful degree. When I looked it up in the book, all it talks about is visualization and understanding when you take your willpower and your focus, your emotions and your intent, you can make it happen. The power is within you. Like, it's a thing. You zero in on it and you fuel it with your emotions. You fuel it by writing it down, by speaking it, by giving words to the intention. And over time, your behavior changes, your actions change, your conversations change. And before you know it, everything you think, do, and believe is all focused around that intention and that visualization that you had set forth and that you were trying to put into action. Second house of making money, second house of values, second house of self-love, Aries, self-love. Absolutely. And not basing it on your appearance, because Aries, it takes a long time for it to grow up, remember? So it's very physical. It's all about, ooh, shiny. Like, that's Aries energy. And ooh, looks beautiful, right? And so it may have values based on appearances. Now, if you can make money doing that, and if you're looking to do that, then that's positive and that's good. But being creative in a healthy, well-balanced way, right? Because not everybody can look aesthetically beautiful, right? Some of us, yeah, we don't like makeup. We don't, we're just not, we're not that, and so what does that mean? We have less value? Of course not. Of course not. And that's the goal of Aries energy, to grow up and to show others, don't worry about how you look. It is, it truly is like, we can make this happen. We can find the strengths and we can put some positive and optimism in there, and you will radiate and shine regardless of how you think you look. Like, that's Aries mixed in Taurus energy in the second house. It can work magic, honestly. So, a new beginning. Now, what makes this a big deal, and what the big deal is another new beginning is happening. This is Pluto going into Aquarius energy, right? This is fascinating because Aries and Aquarius, like, they sextile each other. Yeah, they sextile each other. Like, they get along, right? They support each other. So it's happening almost at the same time. Like, literally, Pluto goes into Aquarius on the 23rd. The new moon was on the 21st. So you see how the beginning of the month we had two major things happening. And here we have Pluto entering Aquarius for the first time ever. I've never lived through this before. I've never seen this before, and neither have you. And this is it. This is it. This is Pluto into Aquarius, folks. Big deal. Big deal. It's group energy. It's disruptions. It's surprises. It's innovation. It's altruistic. It's angelic realm. It's social causes. That's Aquarius. It's inventions for humanity that help humanity advance. Right. So we think of alternative forms of energy, alternative power, individual power. This is a big one, individual power. And this is physically, like, my physical individual power, my individual power here, like me as a sovereign being, and individual power as in, I'm going to power my own home. Damn it. I'm not going to be on the grid anymore. Right. So, like, there's so many meanings for this. This is wild. So the location for this for you, Pisces, is your 12th house, right? So what makes this a bit tricky is 12th house is sleep. 12th house is dreams. It's fantasy, right? 12th house is my subconscious. 12th house can be my soul's history, right? So it's a bit of a mystery, the 12th house, right? It's a bit of a mystery, but it can be such a beautiful energy because it's the 12th house of sacrifice. So you have service on a large scale, serving the group Aquarius in Pisces 12th house of sacrifice for the group. sacrifice for humanity, sacrificing for the world. Like that's Jesus in the garden, right? Pisces in the 12th. But you've got Aquarius there. So it's how can I serve man, right? And I love that energy. And I think that's why I just get along with Pisces people so well, because I understand this energy. I love it. Yeah, 12th house Aquarius is going to be there. So it's major changes, and it's deep because it's Pluto, right? Pluto and Aquarius there. And Pluto is changing your psychology, but it's changing it. It has to do with your past, past, right? Yeah. So it's slow, it's methodical, it goes to the root of something, and it takes a long time. So when this Pluto enters into your 12th house, your sleep habits may change, your dreams may change, right? Those routines, your sleep and your dreams, your fantasies, what the things you pray for or don't pray for, like all that may change. Again, it likely won't be drastic unless you have something at 0 degrees. And the orb for this is going to be just for a few months, because Pluto goes in and then it backs out of Aquarius and it goes into Capricorn again. And it doesn't come back in until 2024, a year from now. Okay. So this will give you a little bit of foreshadow if you have something at 0 degrees of Aquarius, 0, or even we'll say even 1 degrees of Aquarius, but I won't go any further than that, because technically it's really about the minutes when we talk about Pluto, not the degrees. Okay. And if it is about the minutes, that means you are an extremely sensitive and highly aware person. So fine, let's just pretend that that's the deal, because, well, in reality, you do have Aquarius in a highly sensitive place, 12th house. Okay. So we'll say 2 degrees. Pay attention, write things down, especially if you're having different dreams or you feel like you're getting messages. Remember, Pluto is your soul. Okay. Pluto is your soul's power, and it is also your soul, the purpose. Okay. So keep that in mind and write stuff down. It will let you know what Pluto is going to be doing for the next 20 years of your life in your 12th house. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. I will see you in the next video, Pisces. Take care. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.